Welcome back. Shane Lynch is still with me this morning. We're joined now by our relationship expert, Francine Kaye, as well. Francine, thank you so much for coming in. Ever won an award?
Pleasure. Yes, I won a Magpie badge.
Right, Magpie was a children's
my age
programme,
a little bit.
wasn't it?
Yes, it does, Yes, I won a Magpie badge for writing a poem about Biafra. Now you can really see how long ago it was.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I was very pleased with that.
Do you remember it? Do you remember the first line?
Yes, it was something like... Oh, no, I remember the end of it.
Go on.
It was, a Biafran you are, a Biafran you've been. You died in Biafra, no love have you seen.
I can see why you won an award for that. Okay. Then you moved on to relationships.
Yeah, same sort of thing, really.
Let's talk about some of the headlines hitting the news. Bromances. It's kind of a very now word, isn't it? Had anybody heard of a bromance like 3 years ago?
No.
Obviously, Ant and Dec are the archetypal. I mean, I think they kind of take the market into a different level, don't they, really? They live near each other, they work together, and they seem to be able to conduct normal relationships as well outside of it. But it's the bromance that really kind of intrudes on the relationship with your wife or girlfriend we're talking about.
Well, if any relationship intrudes, but I mean, you could ask yourself, would you rather that your husband or your partner was best friends with a man or with a woman? You know, which would you actually prefer? Because if it's with a woman, it's going to be slightly more threatening sometimes if you think that your husband or your partner is giving away lots of private information. And with a man, you pretty much know that not that many words are being exchanged anyway.
Is she being unfair, Shane?
I think that's unfair because I certainly have a bromance. He's actually here today, believe it or not.
Is that the chap you're hanging out with
earlier on? That's the chap, yeah.
Okay. Is
Paddy,
he gone? Has he disappeared?
I think
He's left you.
He found you're going to be talking about it and don't want out the door, you know.
And so where did you pick him up along the way?
I've known him since he's 15 years old. He's a good lad, grew up, he's a London boy, Irish parents, and we just hit it off. And we kind of travelled around the UK doing a lot of PAs with me, looks after me in that respect. Right. And then I looked after him.
So has he started to work for Shane Inc. then?
Not exactly. No, he works for a lot of big artists around the world, in fact. But no, I definitely have one myself.
So
and
when
my wife,
you hang out?
Yeah, well, we can't. He's always around the house, and obviously my wife's going.
Is he?
Yeah, is Paddy coming around? Yes, Paddy. Where you? You know, are you going out? Yeah, I'm going out. Where are you going? I'm going to see Paddy.
How does she cope with Paddy?
She loves him, in fairness, but then always knows where I'm going. If I'm putting the hat and the coat on, Paddy's coming, is he? Yeah, Paddy's coming, you know what I mean?
Does Paddy come out with the two of you? Does he sit and kind of...
no, he's not quite the whole Arj and Towie kind of thing, you know what I mean? It's not Arj and Mark in that respect. But no, we're just good buds, you know, who understand each other, you know what I mean?
What do you tell him?
I suppose I tell him everything. You know, tell him everything. Yeah, you know, we talk about life and we talk about general direction in life and things that are going good and bad.
Paddy's just re-entered the
there,
room. Yeah, you can tell, can't you? You could tell when his aura
I know,
moved back into the room.
You felt him come in the room, didn't you?
He's going, what are they talking about? he's just nipped off to the loo and come back and entered a whole new world of paddydom. Yeah.
I think men need it. I think men do need it. I mean, many years ago when men were working far more together on the land and they were, you know, much more like that, men had company of other men all of the time. I think it's extremely healthy for a man to have a male friend, to have a male perspective. You know, the only time it doesn't really work is if you're talking to another man about a woman, because you've got to remember you're talking in man and not in woman. So you know, you're not going to get quite the right perspective as far as relationships are concerned. But to go fishing with, it's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about when relationships do break down and the physical manifestations that can occur. Demi Moore's health apparently has really deteriorated since her marriage to Ashton Kutcher broke up. The Loose Woman presenter, Andrew McLean, who's getting divorced, suffered panic attacks before she went on air, apparently, and couldn't do the show. And scientists actually now believe that there is a real condition that can manifest itself from breakups, physical, which, I mean, really, it's like grief, I suppose, isn't it?
It
doesn't surprise me that that's the case.
You know, the emotions that you have after divorce aren't linear. So you go from shock, denial, anger, bargaining, grief, loneliness, and you go through all these emotions, but then you come back down again. So they're up and down all the time. But if I said to you right now, if you were to take your finger and point to upset, where would you point? Where would you point if you were pointing at upset?
I don't know.
You don't know, do you? No. The only place to point to upset is in here. So there is no upset out there. What happened is somebody leaves somebody else. Somebody doesn't want to be in relationship with somebody else anymore. That's the what happened of it. Then what happens to us is we go up here into our heads and we make up all of the stuff that means negatively about us and towards us. And all the fears kick in. And all of the upset is in here because there is no upset out there. It doesn't exist. Now, once you get your head around the fact that every fear that you're creating is in your own head, then you think about where those fears come from. Oh my God, I might be on my own. I could be lonely. I might never be loved again. How am I going to manage financially?
All of this is presupposing, or
and it's all about a future that hasn't even happened yet. So in the 10 minutes before Demi Moore hears that she's not going to be with her partner anymore, there's Demi Moore. 10 minutes afterwards, then there's Demi Moore with all of this going on in her mind. All of it's in our mind. And then that is it, you're lost. So when I'm working with people, when I'm working with couples or individuals, what I'm trying to do is to figure out what's the fear that's going on in here, and how can we address that to look at where you are in the present.
Do you reckon, you've been through a divorce, do you recognise that state of the worries in your head?
Oh God, that's so long ago for me, to be honest. That's long forgot. I just said, what was up in here? Yeah,
but the physical side of it, do you, I mean, we've all had breakups, whether it's divorce or not, in relationships over the years. Did you ever physically, when you were breaking up in relationships?
No, I'm a very quick cut, move on, go clean. Don't worry about the past at all. I drive forward all the time.
Which is perfect if you can do that. I mean, the past is meant to be back there just for some information so we don't make mistakes again. But what a lot of people do is they bring the past right in front of them and then they're driving into it, and it's Groundhog Day over and over because you're just living
Francine,
into that.
as ever, you speak perfect sense on that. How are you going to deal with this one? It's a very difficult conversation that lots of people want to have, try to have. Sometimes they get it very wrong. How do you tell the one that you love that they need to lose weight?
Oh, my goodness.
It's the ultimate, isn't it? Is my bum big in this?
Yes.
And you say yes, you may encounter a slap. You say no, you may be telling a lie. So where what would you say?
One thing I know about men, and you'll probably vouch for this as well, is that if you criticise a man, his ears fall off. I've said this before, and he just cannot hear you. So you can't go into criticism. And the other thing is you've got a values conflict here. So you may think that the person is fat, but they may not. And actually their fat isn't impacting you. The only way it might be impacting you is if you're finding them less attractive than you found them before, or you're worried about their health, but that's still about them.
So what you're saying, you say to a man, we will have more sex if you lose weight.
We will have more sex if you lose weight. I mean, literally, if you actually speak very directly.
I know, I've listened to you in the past.
Actually say that, sweetheart, I would so fancy you a whole lot more. If you were a little bit lighter.
How would you receive that kind of line from your wife?
Thankfully, I'm in a relationship where we understand health, let's call it. But no, I think it may be difficult if I was on the larger side and I had a slim partner, and that kind of criticism, and vice versa. I think that's
because that becomes competitive.
If we're both a little bit too many pies, then okay, you can start on the good health thing. You can say, listen, let's look at the diet, let's sort something out. And I think it is a difficult area. And
I just think if the door opens slightly, if the person says, oh, I feel like I need to lose weight, I feel like I need to get healthier, I think you just got to put your foot right in that door, haven't you? And just say, right, let's do something about this.
But on the other hand, you see, if you're slim and you look after your own body and you're with somebody who's not doing that, it almost feels like, well, sweetheart, how would you feel if I was, if I put on a lot of weight? I know that that's something that you wouldn't find so attractive. I'm a bottom line person. I think
I think at this day and age we need to be straightforward.
Yes, and
direct.
And
again, a great one is we're adults now. We're not children anymore. Let's cut to the chase and say, right, lose some pounds.
Yes, and also as well, as far as you're saying as well with health, it's kind of, I'm really worried. I actually want to be with somebody who lives as long as I do. So, please do that for me. Yeah.
Okay, good advice.
We've covered that one. Yes.
Yeah, we've done that. Thank you so much. And I think, especially what you said about the pain of divorce and the pain, because that can apply to lots of things in life, can't it?
Everything.
Losing a job or losing a friendship. It's all up here.
It's what we do in here.
Thank you. Wonderful. Shane, come back a little bit later on, will you? We can talk fashion.